Hi, it's Alex. I know it's been like a year since I posted a video. I have a haircut, still in Japan, still in the same house. You can see the curtains behind me and my dead plants and my little one cup coffee maker. But you can't see the mess that's in the rest of my house. So I strategically placed the camera for that purpose. So today I recently posted a blog on my Tumblr, which I guess I'll include a link to. And it was about 5 things that Japanese people say somewhat frequently that have kind of shocked me during my time here. And I thought it would be kind of fun not only to write about it, but also to speak about it. So I'm going to do this, and I'll probably do it in like one take as I usually do because I'm lazy. But yeah, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is Japanese people have a tendency to say "samui desu ne" or "atsui desu ne," which is basically just a comment on the temperature, like it's cold or it's hot. And you hear this a lot. And I have to throw out the disclaimer that it could be because it's something so simple to understand that maybe I'm only perceiving it more distinctly when really there's a lot more going on in the dialogue and I'm only catching this one thing. So it sounds repetitive, but within or surrounding that expression, there is a lot more. But I have to say that in English, I feel like we don't, or in America, I should say, we don't comment on the weather so much. Like, I feel like we're socially conditioned at an early age to avoid and even laugh at the idea of using weather as small talk. I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong, but for me, it's boring and it's very impersonal. And it shows that you don't really know what else to say. Like there are so many other interesting things you could be saying. And we also express discomfort or coldness using a variety of expressions. But in Japanese, I find that there are certain set phrases that are not so flexible. So we might say like, "I'm freezing my tits off," or "fuck, it's cold," or like, "Jesus Christ, I'm freezing." Like, we can say things in a variety of ways, but in Japanese, when there's a set phrase for something, it's kind of uncommon for them to go beyond that set phrase, it seems to me. So, "samui desu ne," or "atsui," or "samui," like, this word is just kind of a set word. They don't really need to say something else, so they don't. And this happens with a variety of Japanese set phrases that you hear very frequently, especially when it comes to keigo and polite language, that like you just say it because you need to say it, and it's not something that can change or vary, it's just a set phrase. And we have this in English as well, but maybe we see it in different aspects. So that's one. And the next one is, I'm checking now. So this one's more serious. "Doko no kuni kara kimashita ka?" So, which means like, what country do you come from? And this question to me just feels very direct, and it gets asked to me a lot, especially really early on in the conversation. And the reason why it bothers me is because it's very alienating, that the person who you're speaking to is essentially saying, "You are foreign. I can tell just by looking at you that you are foreign, that you are not from this society." And I hope that in American society, being a little bit more visually diverse, that we are more careful when we talk about someone who might seem or look foreign to us. We might try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but that doesn't happen in Japan. And if you try to suggest that should happen to Japanese people, they're like, "Why? Like, you're clearly not Japanese, you're white, so it's not rude to assume you're not Japanese because it's obvious you're not." But even though it's obvious I'm not, it just still feels rude to me. I don't know why. And I remember this happened to me in another form where I was passing by some hikers and they were older, and one of them said, "Oh, kokusai teki desu ne," like looking straight at me, which means, "Oh, you look so international." And he said, "Nihon ga ii," which means like, "Oh, is Japan good? Do you like it?" And that's just like, I don't know you. Like, you don't know me. Why are you like talking to me? And first, it's just not a good way to start a conversation. So I'm a white man, so I benefit from a lot of privilege during my time in the US. So this is actually a very good experience for me to see what it's like to be placed outside of this setting where I'm the majority. You know, for the first time in my life, I live in a society where I look strange. People look at me, I stand out, people make assumptions about me based on the way I look. And that's very interesting and probably very enriching, but it's also difficult, I have to admit. So I just want to throw that out there. And to continue that, one other expression that I find to be alienating is ohashi ga jouzu desu ne, which means like you're so good at chopsticks. And this gets told to me a lot, more so than the doko no kuni kara himashita question. Like, especially at first, but whenever I'm speaking to a student or a teacher who doesn't speak very good English, which is frequent, because why would they? They're Japanese. This is used as a kind of conversation topic. Like, I don't know what to say. Oh, he's so good at chopsticks. Which, this is such a complicated question. So ALTs bitch about this all the time. Like, don't compliment the fact that I can use chopsticks because it's not so difficult and it makes me feel like you think I'm an idiot that I can't use them. Especially if the person you're speaking to knows that you've lived here for longer than a few months. Like, obviously I learned how to use chopsticks or I would have starved to death, or I would have only been eating at my house using a little fork. Or, like, that's ridiculous. They're not that difficult and they're very convenient. But I have to throw out the two things. One, the Japanese person is just trying to be nice. They're just trying to say, like, you know, you're doing a really good job integrating in our culture, and start a conversation off that. It just comes across a little bit wrong. And the other thing is that Japanese people do value good chopstick skills. And so while Japanese people don't compliment each other on their chopstick abilities, my boyfriend told me that Japanese people do comment to each other when they are using chopsticks incorrectly. So if a Japanese person sees another Japanese person like holding them incorrectly or picking up something in the wrong way, he says that he would feel the need to say something like, wow, you were taught how to use chopsticks that way? Like, you were taught incorrectly. So chopstick etiquette is important to Japanese people, and so it might not be so strange after all that they're commenting on your chopstick etiquette as well. So on a less serious note, the next one is onaka ga itai, which means like, oh, onaka ga itai, like my stomach, I'm holding my stomach, my stomach really hurts. And they say this a lot as well. Like I notice in the staff room that teachers will oftentimes like kind of clutch their stomach and you're like, are you okay? And you're like, oh, onaka ga itai. And you're like, okay. I mean, I also, if I have a stomach ache, I'll say it, but I don't know, like, because when you say you have a stomach ache, it means usually that you need to go poop, or that you're having some kind of a stomach problem that's going to result in poop. So it just, I don't know, it grosses me out a little bit. And in particular, I had a student once come up to me during class and say, you know, Alex, I need to go to the bathroom, is that okay? And this is the first time I've ever been asked if a student could use the bathroom, so I felt kind of like, whoa, I'm a real teacher. So I was like, yeah, of course you can, like, no problem. And he was like, oh, thank you. My stomach really hurts. And then he ran off into the bathroom. And, you know, when you say that to me, it's like, okay, are you gonna go have diarrhea now? Like, that's really gross. Like, I didn't need to know it, basically. So, like, maybe a TMI kind of situation that, maybe just TMI for my culture, but when I told Yuki, my boyfriend, this, he did say as well, like, it's not so strange for him, for someone to say, you know, my stomach hurts. It's more of like an excuse, like, I'm sorry, I need to go to the bathroom because my stomach hurts, I can't hold it, which, once again, TMI, I don't really care, you can use the bathroom. I mean, maybe Japanese teachers need more information, but I don't, so, I don't know. And the last one, which is the most difficult and probably the most serious part of this video, is, do you have a girlfriend? Kanojo ga imasu ka? And that is common enough that it becomes kind of stressful for me as, you know, as a gay teacher, because I don't want to come out at my school because I don't want to deal with any of the potential relationship tension that might result, or tension in my actual job stability, which is unfortunate because if we lived in a better world, I would love to come out and be sort of like a symbol to my students that, you know, gay people exist and that we are like relatively functional. I mean, I'm okay, and we're not creepy or weird, relatively not creepy or weird, and so that's too bad. But anyway, you know, it's difficult to keep that secret if students are asking you, you know, do you have a girlfriend? And I've taken this to be just a situation where I should say no. Like, no. I just say, I try not to say no with any emotion, you know. At first, I think I said, like, oh, no, I don't have a girlfriend, you know, acting kind of sad. But then I realized that was implying that I wanted a girlfriend, and I really didn't want to imply that. So now I just simply say no. And some students actually have said, like, do you have a boyfriend? Like, that happened once. And thankfully, at the time, I did not have a boyfriend. So I just said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Once again, trying to stay kind of impassive. And so, yeah. It's very awkward, though. It's annoying because people say, you know, oh, it shouldn't matter. You know, just, it's not no one's business. Don't say it. But, you know, it doesn't matter. But it comes up. You know, we don't live in a perfect world where everyone respects each other's private lives, and especially each other's love lives. People are always curious, like, are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids one day? It's kind of a dramatic shift, especially in Japanese culture. It's weird for people like and not men my age, but for women, especially my age, to be single. Like, there's just this expectation that you need to get married kind of early. It's a little bit more traditional than American culture. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna end the video. I'm sorry I rambled for so long. I may edit this video. I have no guarantees. And yeah, I will probably make more videos in the future because I'm bored and it is winter again, so I'm stuck in my house. So there'll be more of me. Yay for you! Okay, well anyway, I'm going to sign off, so bye guys.